Shabbat Shalom. We're so glad to be able to join you this Shabbat evening from our own homes to wherever it is that you may be this Shabbat. I'm Rabbi Daniel Reeser, and I'm joined, of course, in the leadership of this evening's service by Rabbi Jonathan Blake, by Rabbi David Levy, by our rabbinical student intern, Ariel Milan Polisar, and our cantorial student intern, Isaac Sonnet Asor. This evening marks not only our weekly day of rest, Shabbat, it also marks the beginning of the second day of a Jewish holiday. Last night, we began the holiday of Shavuot, the day when we celebrate the giving of the Ten Commandments or the giving of the Torah more broadly. And this evening, we move into day 2 of Shavuot. And one way that we mark Shavuot at WRT is to celebrate our 10th graders. Tomorrow morning, members of our 10th grade class will participate in the ritual of confirmation, where they say our Jewish journey is really just beginning. We as teenagers have a lot to offer and a lot to share, and we want to show you what it is that we have to bring the Jewish world even at a young age, and they'll do so tomorrow morning at our confirmation service at 10 a.m., which will stream live on our live streaming page at wrtemple.org. We will also be joined by those confirmation students this evening as we offer them a special blessing. Tomorrow morning, they'll bless us with the service that they've created. This evening, we bless them by helping to bring some Kedusha into their lives by offering them a blessing here together on Shabbat. We also want to take a moment to acknowledge that this afternoon, our senior cantor, Amanda Kleinman, along with her husband, Danny Mendelson, and their older son, Jed Mendelson, welcomed 2 new babies into the world. They were born this afternoon. Mama's doing well, babies are doing well. So we wish the Kleinman Mendelson family a hearty mazel tov and look forward to celebrating the arrival of these 2 new babies at some point in the near future. Let us welcome Shabbat by kindling lights. And if you have Shabbat candles of your own at home, I'll invite you to please join with me. I'll kindle my own Shabbat candles, and then we'll offer the blessing together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
We continue now with the words of Hine Matov Umanayim, how good it is for us all to be together on this special night. Hine Matov Umanayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Matov umanayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei matov umanayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei matov umanayim, shevet achim gam yachad. אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבט אחים גם יחד. We continue now to welcome the Shabbat bride with words Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat mekabela. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat mekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'diborecha, ishmi'anu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad u'shmo echad, Hashem kol tiferet v'nitchila. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat mekabela. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat mekabela. Likrat Shabbat לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat mekabela. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat mekabela. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי בעורף קומי אורי, אורי אורי, שיתעברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat mekabela. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat mekabela. בואי בשלום, עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, טוב אמוני המסגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat mekabela. Lecha Dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat mekabela. ברכו את אדוני המבורך, ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד, ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. This year, as we mark the festival of Shavuot, we have the added bonus of celebrating the receipt of the gift of Torah, as well as honoring and blessing our brilliant confirmation class on Shabbat. At the end of the sixth day, God looks back on the world of creation and declares it not just tov, good, but tov me'od, very good. And so, as we enter into this special festive Shabbat, may our confirmands find a particularly complete rest as you look back on the work that has brought you to this moment. Everything you have created is truly tov me'od. And it's a blessing for all of us that we get to share in this celebration with you. We sing now words from the end of the book of Genesis, Hine tov me'od. Vayar Elohim et kol asher asa, vehine tov me'od. Vayar Elohim et kol asher asa, vehine tov me'od. There was evening, there was morning, there was evening, there was morning. Vayhi erev, vayhi boker, tov me'od. Vayhi erev, vayhi boker, tov me'od.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol meodecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'aderech uvshochbecha uvekumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai Vihitem kedoshim lelohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Asher hotzeitziechem me'eretz Mitzrayim. V'hiot lachem le'elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem.
During Passover, we celebrate our freedom. Our rabbis called it Zman Cherutenu, the season of our freedom. And it is on Passover that we recognize our freedom from oppression, freedom from Egypt, freedom from frustration, that holiday that we celebrated only 50 days ago. Shavuot, that we are experiencing right now, is a moment for a different kind of freedom. Freedom to pray, freedom to engage with our tradition, freedom to live as a Jew proud and unafraid. Today, as we sing the words of Mi Chamocha on this Shavuot, we celebrate both types of freedom. Freedom from oppression and freedom to be proud and unafraid of who we are. We continue with the words of Mi Chamocha. Mi Chamocha Elohim Adonai, Mi Chamocha Netzar B'Kodesh, Nora Tehilot Osef Melech.
בחוצך ראו בניך, בוקי הים לפני משה ומרים, זה אלינו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzhak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor V'Hanora Elyon Gomer Chasadim Tovim Rekoneh HaKol Vezocher Chasdei Avot Ve'imahot Umevii Gula Livnei Bneihem Leman Shemo Ve'ahava Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Abraham Ve'Ozrat Sarah Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechayeh HaKol Atah Rab Lehoshia Morid HaTal Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed Mechayeh HaKol Berachamim Rabim Somech Noflim Verofech Olim Umatir Hasurim Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar Micham Chabal Geburot Umido Melach Melach Memit Umechayeh Umatzmiach Yeshua V'ne'eman atah l'chayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai Mechayeh hakol Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh U'kedoshim chol yom yahalalucha selha Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el hakadosh. Please take these next few moments for the prayer of your heart, either by just closing your eyes or finding some words that you need to say to God. We continue together in silence.
On Shavuot, the Jewish community has the pleasure of reading from the Book of Ruth, a short yet profound story of human beings bringing chesed, loving kindness, into the world. We are excited to share with you a new musical setting of the many words of blessing that the central figures, Ruth, Naomi, and Boaz, offer to one another. Boaz says to Ruth, "May God reward your deeds. May you be repaid in full by God, under whose wings you have taken shelter." And then later, "May you be blessed in God's sight, for your latest act of loyalty surpasses the first." This musical setting ends with a reminiscence of the first words of blessing that Ruth receives from her mother-in-law, Naomi, as the two of them mourn together. "May God deal kindly with you, as you have dealt with the dead and with me." Naomi's affection for her daughter-in-law sets in motion a tale of redemption in the wake of sorrow. We never know the extent of the impact of our kindness. Yishalem Adonai polech utehi maskurtecha שלמה מעם אדוני אלוהי ישראל אשר באת לחסות תחת כנפיו ישלם אדוני פולך ודהי משכורתך שלמה ברוך את לאדוני ביתי היטבת חסדך האחרון מן הראשון ברוך את לאדוני ביתי היטבת חסדך האחרון מן הראשון יעש אדוני עמכם חסד כאשר עשיתם עם המתים יעש אדוני עמכם חסד כאשר עשיתם עמדי.
Thank you, Isaac, for sharing that beautiful piece with us. Not only is it a new piece of music, but it is a new piece of music written by Isaac himself. So thank you for sharing that with us, that piece of yourself, which is so clearly a part of the melody that you wrote. So thank you. Shabbat Shalom. This week's Torah portion is called Naso, which in Hebrew means to lift up or to take a head count, as God instructs Moses to conduct a census of all of the people joining them for their trek to the promised land. A census is designed to document all of the people who are inhabiting a particular area at once. I personally filled out my census form a couple months ago. I hope you all did too. Don't worry, there's still time. You can submit your information up until August 14th. Unfortunately, they did not have such an effective way to complete their census in biblical times. I can't imagine how difficult it must have been to organize a group of Kvetchi Israelites without social media or even email. All they had was the power of their own voices. The name of this Torah portion might cause us to assume that the census lifts up all of the voices, counts all of the heads that are along for the ride to the promised land. We would like for this to be true. It would be wonderful if the Torah said, and all of the people were counted, including the women and children and people of color and those with disabilities. That's the ideal, but that's not what actually happened. In fact, this is a big misconception about this portion. The biblical census is woefully incomplete, inaccurate, and discriminatory in who is counted. It includes only those people who could fight in an Israelite army, that is, able-bodied Israelite men. While I'm sure this was done in order to organize themselves militarily, it leaves out a huge part of the population. Unfortunately, not recognizing the voices of an important part of our population is all too familiar to us, and a topic of conversation in this week's news as we learned of the tragic death of George Floyd on Monday in Minneapolis. A gentle giant, as many described him, Floyd was a 46-year-old Black man who died after a white police officer detained him by pinning his neck to the pavement with his knee for 8 minutes. I wish that this devastating incident were more shocking. And yet, racism, often manifesting in acts of physical abuse, is and for centuries has been a defining feature of our country, in explicit ways like this one, and in other perhaps more subtle ways that we collectively fail to realize. As a perceptive quote by the actor Will Smith, currently making its way around social media, reminds us, racism is not getting worse, it's getting filmed. There are so many ways that we can lift up voices like George Floyd's and other people of color. It starts with allies like ourselves, our Jewish community, our congregation of conscience, lifting up those voices that aren't widely heard, and making sure that we truly acknowledge and honor the voices of people of color. As I think about this tragedy and how we can move forward as better people, supporting our brothers and sisters of color, I think about the passion and dedication of WRT's youth, a population I have come to know and love over the past 2 years at WRT. Our students are creating a world they believe in, one in which all voices are heard and celebrated. As we celebrate our 10th grade confirmation class this Shabbat, I think about the uniqueness of this class of passionate, caring individuals who care so deeply about making this world one in which less privileged people are given a fair shot at opportunity, a world in which all people are given a voice, in which all are counted. Despite the pandemic, our confirmation class has continued to meet weekly. And tomorrow we'll lead our congregation in a beautiful, thoughtful, and occasionally humorous confirmation Shavuot service over Zoom. We hope you will join us and experience their Jewish leadership firsthand. The broadcast begins at 10 a.m. One of the themes threaded throughout the second half of our year of study and social action together, as we discussed how our Jewish values inform our responsibility to the disadvantaged, was a shared commitment to lift up those voices that would not otherwise be heard. The voices of those whom our society too often silences. I was so impressed throughout our many conversations with our students' common desire to help people who would not otherwise be helped. As we'll hear tomorrow morning, it was so important to this year's confirmation class to donate to organizations and lend a hand to people and groups who didn't otherwise have a lot of funding. Small scale, passionately determined organizations which depend on donations like ours and which directly support struggling, marginalized individuals and communities. I saw this passion at the Litzaken conference in Washington, D.C., the annual gathering sponsored by the Religious Action Center of Reform Judaism, in which our teens participate, where our confirmands learned, wrote about, and then advocated for gun violence prevention, criminal justice reform, and other issues that directly, disproportionately impact people of color or people who are less privileged. Watching our 10th graders read their heartfelt, substantially researched speeches in our federal and state congressional offices inspired me then and inspires all of us this Shavuot weekend. It is okay, indeed important, for us to acknowledge that the world that our biblical ancestors lived in was not ideal. But let's be careful not to judge our ancestors without acknowledging that in fact our world today is far from ideal as well. We have a lot of work to do to make sure that our society is truly fair. That work is deeply Jewish work, and work that I know our confirmands are committed to doing. I personally feel grateful for the work they have done and will continue to do to make our world a little more just and compassionate, And I hope you all will join me in an expression of gratitude as we bless them on this important milestone in their lives, and now bring them on screen.
Confirmation class of 5780, it is so good to see your faces. Of course, over the last 8 weeks or so, this is the usual way in which we have accustomed ourselves to seeing your faces. But on the subject of seeing faces, which is acknowledged through the opening words of this week's parasha, Naso, in which heads are counted and faces lifted up in sacred acknowledgement of each individual's place in the community, how meaningful, how joyful it is for us to share your panim, your punams, your faces with our extended Westchester Reformed Temple family, community, and all who are tuning into our live stream this evening on this special Shabbat. Throughout this year, you have given of yourselves, as you have heard from our wonderful rabbinic intern, Ariel Milan Polisar, with passion, with purpose, and have become a community of friends. You may not have thought of every single other member of your confirmation class as your BFF when the confirmation year started back in September, but you've realized how much stronger you are when you act together than just when you act individually. And so it does bring us great pleasure, not just for us, your clergy, but indeed for the entire Westchester Reformed Temple family, to acknowledge you publicly tonight in front of our community and bless you. And then tomorrow, as Rabbi Reeser mentioned at the beginning of our service tonight, for you to bless us by leading us in Shavuot prayers and by celebrating your unique individual Jewish identities, which are at the heart of the statements that you've written and will be presented for our community as part of our service tomorrow, through your commitment to keep learning Torah, studying Torah, and in the case of some of you, even chanting Torah as part of our service tomorrow, helping us on this Shavuot festival to remember loved ones through the ritual of Yizkor, of sacred remembrance, particularly at this time when our community continues to reel from how many we have laid to rest. Confirmation class, each of you through your commitment have lifted up our faces. You can see that the smiles we share with you tonight are authentic. By being you, by sharing your gifts with us and our community, you have made Westchester Reformed Temple a happier and a holier place. And I want to add here how much we are appreciative of and indeed admire your resilience, your flexibility, your adaptability in this unprecedented time of change. We know that to be a human being today, and perhaps especially to be a teenager, means to feel a sense of missing out on so much. All of the fun rituals of end of school and spring, all of the opportunities for community celebration, including the luncheon and party that would have accompanied our confirmation service tomorrow, all of that has been exchanged for being safe and saving lives. And that means staying at home. But we know that when in time to come we can gather again, we will do so with your Jewish leadership having been brought to the fore and indeed transformed precisely because you were able to lead and keep your commitment to confirmation even through this period of terrible disruption. The prayer that I'm now going to offer on your behalf is taken from this week's Torah portion, Naso. It is the most famous blessing in all of Jewish tradition. It is comprised of 3 lines, the last of which invites God to do what is done to the Israelites in this week's Torah portion, to lift a divine face and smile upon all the people who are encompassed in God's sacred blessings. And so we share these words of blessing with you. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. Confirmation class of 5780, may God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha vichuneka. May the light of the Most High shine upon you, and through you may God's light shine out into the world that so desperately needs your light. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha Shalom. Amen. May the divine face, God's smile, be lifted up unto you. May God grant you and our world health, wholeness, and healing. Most precious, the gift of shalom, the gift of peace, contentment, joy, and completeness that you are helping to bring into a hurting world. Amen. Mazel Tov, confirmation class of 5780. Stay on the Zoom with us for just a few moments longer as we bless you further with music that you have shared with our community and thereby are blessing them.
We are gifts, and we are blessings. We are history in song. We are hope, and we are healing. We are learning to be strong. We are words, and we are stories. We are pictures of the past. We are carriers of wisdom, not the first and not the last. The door by door, Nagiko Lecha. The door by door, we protect this chain. From generation to generation, the door by door, these lips will praise your name. Looking back on the journey that we carry in our hearts, from the shadow of the mountain to the waters that would part. We are blessed and we are holy. We are children of your way, and the words that bring us meaning, we will have the strength to say. The door by door, Nagiko Lecha. The door by door, we protect this chain. From generation to generation, the door by door, these lips will praise your name. The door by door, Nagiko Lecha. The door by door, we protect its chain. From generation to generation, the door by door, these lips will praise your name.
Members of our WRT congregation and extended family, please, each in your own homes, say a little Mazel Tov for the confirmation class of 5780. And please, if you'd like to, we hope that you can join us tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. when our confirmation class will lead our service. It's going to be a beautiful, powerful, and memorable morning. Thank you so much. Thank you, confirmation class. we're going to demote you from panelist to attendee at our Zoom room here. We hope that you'll stay on and enjoy the rest of the service and make motzi with us in a few moments. And at this time, we would like to pause in the flow of our prayers to acknowledge all in our community who need healing. And there are indeed still so many. We have members of our congregation who continue to suffer from COVID-19. We have many, thank God, who are recovered or recovering. We even have some who have been able to receive an antibody test and who have, to their relief, tested positive, perhaps granting a little bit of immunity. It's no time to let down our guard, however. Each one of us, whether we are a spiritual leader, a healthcare worker, or just a member of our community and our Jewish tradition, now recognizes that we still have an important job to do, and that is to save life and protect the public health. There is nothing that our tradition demands with more seriousness than this. And so even though the spring weather calls us to go outside, and even though our loved ones are people we miss embracing and lifting up glasses with and sharing meals with, please do so in the safest way possible. Keep your distance, wear your masks, and continue to reach out with all the love, compassion, concern, and energy that has distinguished our WRT family throughout this ordeal. Our congregants have been simply amazing. The volunteering, the calls of concern that you have placed each to the other members of our community who need the love the most has been an inspiration to me and to all of us who serve our community as its spiritual leaders. Thank you, WRT. At this time, wherever you are in your own homes or maybe enjoying a drink on the deck, we hope that you will feel invited to share the names of people you care about for a prayer of healing, a Misha Berach. You're welcome to say their names out loud or offer their names quietly. Tonight, our community is also praying for Lawrence Smith, Deborah Kapnick, Nicole Schusse, Ray Josell, Amelia Austin, Joyce Schertzer, Leah Greenspan, Viva Tzila Bat Esther Bela, Dan Sokolov, Jeffrey Millman, Chava Bat Sara, Eliyahu Chaim Ben Fredel, Sheila Fried, Tanya Romanoff, Yitzchak Yona Ben May, Yaakov Hirsch Ben Rachel, Malkat Sapora Bas Rachel, Tamar Bat Malka, Avram Ben Miriam, David Tremsky, Heschel Meir Ben Davida Chana, Tracy Weiner, and other names that you would like to share, you can do so at this time. We offer our Misha Berach prayer. Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Laimotenu, may the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Lavotenu, bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say
We now turn towards the conclusion of our service and join together in the words of Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach l'Adon hakol, latet gedula leotzer breshit, shelo asanu kigoye ha'aratzot, velo samanu kamishpachot ha'adama, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד. We now turn our thoughts to our loved ones who are no longer with us, our friends and family members, and those we know who used to grace our lives every day, and perhaps now grace our lives in a little bit of a different way. If there is somebody you are remembering this evening, feel free to share their name out loud or in your heart, and I will read the names of those whom we are remembering in the WRT community. First, those whom we've lost in recent past: Florence Miller, Peter Jatlow, Stuart Libertoff, Herbert Dardick, Rabbi Sissy Karan, Marco Fernandez, Lila Kaplan, Kiana Kodesh, Judy Gold, Richard Jaffe. And on the anniversary of their death: Jack Alter, Shirley Alter, Charles Bacon, Myra Bulber, Helen Becker, Abraham Blumstein, Lillian Brucker, Anita Dagenshine, Minnie Choper, Warren Choset, Barbara Cooper, Ethel Disick, Irving Eggles, Jacob Feintuck, Harold Fisher, Clara Glickman, Isabel Goldschlag, David Gordon, Murray Gordon, George Hahn, Sylvia Hosberg, Emily B. Henschel, Dorothy Hodis, Sandra Katz, Myron Clayman, Carol Currens, Tracy Kreisberg, Laura Krzesny, Joan Kupferberg, Harris Lefrak, Jacob Leichtman, Simon J. Leibowitz, Lorraine Medvinsky, Alex Millman, Samuel Mollett, Michael Perlmutter, Violin Reckless, Nima Zabokrutskaya, Joseph Resnick, Ruth Rockland, Francis Rogers, Isabel Rosenbaum, Judith Scheibe, Sarah Schreier, Irene Schwartz, Ellen Siegel, Adele Seltzer, Herman Silver, Anna Solomon, Abraham Sternman, Howard Swidler, Arthur Talmadge, Lawrence Tyker, Harry Tomback, Alan Waller, Sabina Weissman, Harriet Zweifach. We join together in the words of the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute, b'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam ulamei al-maya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitale v'yitalal shemei d'kudsha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'yimru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, Hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru, amen.
So at this time, just a couple of announcements before we wrap up our service. Again, we hope that you will join us tomorrow morning. We have 2 synagogue offerings tomorrow. At 9:30, we'll gather for a little bit of a schmooze, and promptly at 9:45, begin studying this week's Torah portion. And at 10 o'clock, of course, this is overlapping. You'll have to choose between 2 wonderful encounters with the Jewish tradition here at WRT. You can join the live stream of our Shavuot morning, Shabbat morning, confirmation morning service. And that Zoom link is available on the temple website. It is also available on the weekly electronic newsletter, and we can make it available for our audience that's tuning in via Facebook Live as well, so that you can join directly tomorrow. Additionally, this Thursday, our Women of Reform Judaism will conduct its annual spring lecture. It's normally a luncheon, but this year it's BYOL, bring your own luncheon. I will be holding forth at 12:30 p.m. this Thursday, June 4th, on the subject of mystical and Hasidic non-dual understandings of God. Now, if that didn't make any sense, you're exactly the kind of person who should come to my talk. So I'm looking forward to sharing with you some really mind-opening and consciousness-expanding understandings of God through parts of the Jewish tradition that sometimes go underexplored. So I look forward to seeing you together with the Women of Reform Judaism of WRT, and this is open to all, Thursday at 12:30. And then, of course, we hope to see you again next Shabbat at 6:15. This time we're going to make a little kiddush. And before we do, I'd like to raise this glass first to Isaac Sonnet Asor, not only for his beautiful gift of music tonight, but also because it's his birthday. So will you please join me? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Isaac. Happy birthday to you. Please join us as we sanctify the day of Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך, ואהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. L'chaim.
Please join me in Motzi.
I realize, Isaac, I changed the closing song to make it happy birthday. Ariel, will you show us that beautiful challah that you baked?
I will.
And this is an everything challah, meaning
It is.
has everything seasoning on it.
It does.
I
Very
have
proud
a
of
little
it.
bit of challah FOMO right now. Please join with the people with whom you are sharing your quarantine, perhaps. If not, please know that you are deeply connected to a community of compassion and care as we bless together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. B'te'avon, Shabbat shalom. Chag Sameach.